Get this show started.
There
here
we
soon.
go. Now we got that going. Just waiting for everybody to come along. Y'all come on in and say hello. Let me know you're here. What's
This
up?
light.
Prince with, I see
Yeah,
you
just turn
there.
up the other one.
Hanging out.
Yeah, just checking it out.
Oh yeah, no. Please do. Jump in. I usually try to get the chat in, but sometimes you'll see some things that I don't see, and so that's how we work around here. We'll jump in. Mr. Cartoon, good evening. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Y'all come on in and say hello. Let us know you're here. Y'all remember my rule. I don't mind if you lurk, but I need you to say hello before you go sit in the corner. That's it. Lurk all you want. I know people are making dinner and they're trying to get their kids to bed, doing all sorts of things. So I don't want you to feel like you have to be engaged the entire time. What's up, Edwards? How's it going? Good to see you. We got Lone Star 3D coming in the room. Good to see you. I wonder who that is. And it better not be Alex.
I don't know.
Cool. Y'all come on in and say hello. Dud, how are you doing tonight?
Doing great. It's a beautiful morning.
A beautiful morning. Yep. Dud doesn't wake up till around 8 p.m. or so. He's waking up early for this. Not really. Hey,
Heck
Ryan.
yeah.
How's it going? Wicked Constructs. How are you doing? So this is a hot take show tonight, guys, and so we've got the Dudv2, we have the people that Dud felt were important enough from the Dudv2 team to come be on the show. I'm gonna get Dud in trouble. Hey, Chris, how are you doing, man? So introduce yourself a little bit, Chris. There might be a lot of people who don't necessarily know you here tonight.
I would guarantee there's a lot of people who don't know me. So, my name's Chris. My TikTok and social media credentials are just Prince with Chris. My biggest audience is here on TikTok, just touch over 2,000 followers right now. Been 3D printing for a little over a year, and I've owned probably 10 or 11, maybe even 12 different printers in that meantime. Currently sitting around 5, but just make goofy TikToks, review filaments, have a good time. Big Dudv2 fan.
Yeah, I think Goofy is kind of how we all are around here. I think Goofy is kind of the standard. What's up, Donnie Hunt? How are you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in tonight. Hey, guys, as y'all come in the room, remember to say hello. I don't mind if you lurk. Just say hello before you go sit in the corner. That's always our rule here. But this is a hot take show. I tried to gather the most opinionated people I could find for this show. And we all know how opinionated Dud is.
He doesn't care for your opinion.
Exactly.
You might not like mine.
We don't need your opinion. So what do you guys, Dud, what are you drinking tonight? What you got in your hand?
Oh, wait, I got something special for this.
Uh-oh.
Is a bottle of water from Winco. You guys probably don't even know what Winco is.
What?
Water.
Water.
What's Winco?
Winco. I don't know Winco.
It's an employee-owned grocery store.
Okay.
Actually really cool.
That's cool.
And then I have my BFF here. She's got some good luck on her.
What's up, Dragon Designs? How are you doing? Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all hanging out over here, saying hello. Got all the chat rooms up. I think we're in a pretty good spot, guys. Got a bunch of people hanging out. Guys, if you see something or you have an opinion that you want us to talk about, please let us know. I'm going to be going through my stuff. I've kind of pre-planned some things for them to talk about, but you might have something that you want to get a take from these guys. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. That's what we're here for tonight, is just to kind of get some opinions, have a little bit of fun, and just see what trouble we can get into. But who in there is in Washington, B.C.? I don't know Washington, B.C. Is that Washington, British Columbia, or are we trying to say D.C.?
Or they could be saying because.
Because. That's true. Because it's the only place I've seen them. And now we got to know which Washington.
They're talking about Winco. His previous comment was about Winco.
Okay, I got you. Talking about the Winco.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
they're expanding.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. You got Mr. Cartoon in Maryland. So Mr. Cartoon, if you're there, you're heading to 3D Printopia. Who here's going to 3D Printopia? Either of you two guys? We got Dudv2.
I wanted to.
I
I really wanted to. I would have to. I even looked at flights because I have to work that Saturday. I could fly in Sunday and I'd get there at noon, and my plane would leave at 2.
Okay.
And it's like a 45-minute drive. So I'm like,
I want to because I got a buddy who lives up in Maryland, but my son's birthday is next Wednesday, and so his birthday party is that weekend. So
yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
No way I'm missing that one. But there's another 3D Expo I'm going to next year that's gonna be really fun.
Okay.
So make up for it.
Awesome. Another one.
Silent, what cup is that?
About that one. I was going to talk about that cup. I was going to talk about that cup in a minute, and then we'll kind of get into it.
I've never seen it in person.
You haven't seen this cup in person? Well, so my friend Alex. Now, Alex was supposed to be here tonight, but Alex is having some pregnancy issues and could not make it. And so she will come in on another show sometime, and we'll have a good interview with her. But man, amazing at laser engraving. Look at that cup.
That's awesome.
Alex always does a really good job and makes all the stickers.
I wonder if they ever found out who the father was.
I don't know. I don't ask. I try not to. 25 weeks. There we go. 3D. If y'all don't know, 3D Everything is Alex. And so that's who we're talking about. And I guess 25 weeks, so it must be on bed rest at this point if they can't be a part of what's going on.
Ankles are swollen.
I know, right?
I think he must have watched that Junior movie too many times.
Hey, don't give it away. You said he. You're supposed to say she right now.
Oh,
we're trying to start a rumor here.
It's such a weird subject. I don't know. Them? Is that the proper thing
It
now?
might be. I don't know. Guys, we're messing with Alex. Alex is a guy. Alex is not pregnant. Alex is not 25 weeks pregnant, but it is Alex's birthday. So make sure y'all send love over to Alex and as many messages as you can. I know he'll enjoy that. But he's getting ready for work, has things to do.
We can blow up his phone. Will I accidentally leak his cell phone number?
I don't do that to people here. We don't dox people here.
Yeah, but no doxing.
No doxing, definitely. I hate even saying it. I don't know what anybody's gonna do. All right. Okay, so let's do this, guys. So we talked to Chris. Chris, what are you drinking tonight?
Oh, just a good old zero sugar white monster.
We got the white monster. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've got the coffee. Now, is Monster like your thing? Like, are you a Monster everyday kind of guy? And
yeah, so I'm in a weight loss journey. So I'm down about 85 pounds, and so one of the things was I gave up soda. So this is the next closest thing to soda that I can get. So I haven't had a soda in almost 2 years, but so this is kind of taking its place. So it's no sugars, only 10 calories. So still not good for you, but better than soda.
No, I got you. I understand. I'm a Red Bull guy. So,
yeah.
But I've got my coffee tonight in my special mug, and then I've been into the Circle thing.
Yep. I got one of those too.
I love my Circle. I think Nate just got a Circle, and he's been enjoying it. So
yeah, my sister turned me on to one of those about a year and a half ago, and it's really helped me drink a lot more water because it's just so much better with flavor. I can't just drink straight water by itself unless I'm like working out at the gym or something. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And then Dud's got what? So what's the take on water, guys? Like I'm with Chris. Like water, ugh. I don't like water. I'm not gonna drink it if I don't have to. I get enough in my coffee. It needs to have flavor.
I drink water as long as it's not from the tap. It has to be from the fridge. My wife will swear up and down it's the same exact water and tastes the same, but in my head it's different.
There's a filter in the refrigerator though. There's a filter. So
I know.
And
we're on city water.
Is that what that little red flashing thing is?
Probably means the filter needs to be changed. So.
When I was in the army, I drank enough water for a lifetime, so I'm fine with not drinking plain water.
Oh, okay.
Now I can afford flavored water, so we'll do that.
I like flavored water, and I'm on well water, so it doesn't matter to me.
Oh yeah, well's perfect. Yeah.
So I love my well water. I've deployed many times. Any water is better than something that was sitting out in 120 degrees desert temperature. I could totally believe that. Anything in plastic at 120 degrees must taste interesting. Must taste interesting. Well, Dud, tell us a little bit about yourself just for people here. Hey, if you're in the room and you know who Dud is, raise your hand real quick while he talks about himself.
So, I am Dud or Richard. So I do 3D printing as a Dudv2, and then we also do some filament and stuff in the background. So that is our W2 LLC technically. So we have our PLA, PETG, our basketball material, and some random other stuff in there. So we do that, and then starting next year, we'll host our first 3D Expo in Texas, which will be the Lone Star 3D Expo.
Woohoo. We're excited about that. Now that is interesting. So I've never heard you quite explain it that way. Like I'm a 3D printer, and we do some filament in the background.
Yep.
It does not feel that way to me.
No?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's hard to tell. It kind of depends on the day. So, we do a lot of filament, but we sell a lot of stuff too. Like, I mean, we sell a lot of prints. We do markets. We have some consignment stores we're in and stuff. So, I mean, there's months, you'll sell a few hundred prints and stuff. So, I mean, we have, like, I don't even know how many printers, over 20 of them.
Oh, wow.
But we try to keep them going, so you can always stock and restock and stuff like that. We started our filament line to offset our 3D printing because we had so much problems in filament. And I'm glad we talked about the extruder in a little bit. That'd be really fun to cover.
Yeah. Keep going.
And then, before I forget, so that's enough of W2. But for Lone Star, it will be the biggest 3D expo in the United States.
Ooh.
So I'm super excited.
Hey,
It'll
let's
be
get
about
over there
3
and watch
times
this.
the size of Printopia.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Now, 3 times Printopia, that's this year, I assume, because
Yep.
next year Printopia will be in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
and
they'll
so
be bigger.
we'll get a much better idea of just kind of the size that we're going to be looking at. I'm excited, and let's go ahead and talk about Lone Star just while we're here, while we're at this point. Kind of give us an overview of Lone Star, what's happening, when is it, where is it, that type of thing.
Sure. So Lone Star 3D Expo will be here in Irving, Texas. It is super close to the airport, so if anybody's flying in or something, it's a 7-minute car ride, or there's a shuttle that goes back and forth. There's a train. There's within walking distance, there is 15 different hotels and 25 restaurants. We will be using 59,885 square feet of the facility. There'll be just over 400 booths. So,
Okay.
and then we still have the entire lobby. I don't know what to do with. We could literally put another 30 people out there if we needed. I don't know. It's a free roaming area. But we're super, super excited about it. But it will be August 2026. It is the 3rd weekend of August. I think it's the 21st and 22nd. 22nd, 23rd.
Okay.
Somewhere right around there.
21st to 23rd.
21st,
Yeah.
3rd. Okay. Okay. Now, I assume there's a place, like if they go into your bio, or they can probably find where it is, or is there a
It's not
site?
listed in my bio.
What? Dud!
It's not.
Oh, we're going to have a
I
talk,
haven't.
Dud. You're killing me.
I haven't integrated it into Dudv2.
I know.
So
I understand.
.com.
it is it is LoneStar3DExpo.com.
There you
But
go.
we wanted to 5 seconds, I'll tell you guys a minor backstory. So when we launched Lone Star, we wanted, to have a public facing of it. So our staff and stuff, we put them out there, because we want to make sure there's no favoritism for W2 versus other companies.
Right. I get
Cookie Cat or Polar Filament or like Polymaker will be there. So all those, we want to make sure we're fair and consistent. And we want to give everybody a chance. So, I mean, W2 paid for their own space and everything like that.
Okay.
So, but now we are embracing it because I want to be there and I want to represent Lone Star and W2. So
Right.
it's kind of weird for me.
And I can get that. I mean, so basically, you're just wanting to stay company agnostic. Right.
Correct.
You're wanting to make sure that everybody understands they're going to get a fair shake. This is not a thing where we're going, ooh, yay, Dudv2 and those other filament companies.
Yeah.
Right. You just want to make sure that you're set there, and I think that's smart. I think that's really smart. I think it's definitely going to assure people, but putting your name on it, I think, gives a certain kind of idea to it too, because I know I was getting so many text messages like, who is putting this on? We've never heard of these people. What's going on?
Yeah, so there's a full about us now with everybody's pictures. So if anybody wants to see what 3D everything looks like, it's on there. His picture's finally on there. I know.
She's on there?
Yes.
Wow. Now, is it a pregnant picture or is it?
We cropped just a headshot.
Okay. All right.
We have certain. The camera only zooms out so far.
Oh, okay.
But Prince with Chris is there. Dragon Girl's there. The other Chris Bionic. Texas Leo. King or Spagoli is there. There's quite a few people. Oh, yeah. There's Cold Star.
Cold Star.
He'll be there.
Still doesn't know how he got a booth, but he has a booth, so that's exciting. That's
Cold
exciting.
Star is like has a really, really good spot there.
I have a booth. I like my spot. And so, of course, I'm always with Filament Stories, so.
Yeah, Cold Star is the first booth when you first walk in. He has the best space.
Big booth.
Awesome.
Big booth.
Yeah. And that's another. So there you go. That's a company agnostic type thing, right?
Yep.
So, no, that's awesome. What gave you? And I'm going to let both of y'all, because now Chris, you're pretty involved with Lone Star, aren't you?
To a degree, yeah. I'll be there as officially as listed as the announcer for the event. So, okay. So if you don't like the sound of my voice, you're really gonna be annoyed at the event. But don't let that deter you from going.
Yeah, definitely. As long as it doesn't squeal, I'm okay. I don't mind. If it starts squealing, I come start pressing buttons.
No, we have a premium sound system. Don't worry.
With a voice changer, hopefully. So
yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, what is going to make your expo different than others?
So it's going to be I've only been to Remerve. This is my second year going. I went 2 years ago just as a guest. Me and my wife. Last year we had a booth there. It was amazing. It was great to meet everybody. I know that Filament Stories came over to our booth. Cookie Cat came over. Both, Nathan and Melissa both came over. It was really, really cool to meet all of these people. But we want to do something different. So as I was going, there was so little stuff to do for kids. Sorry, I look up when I'm thinking. But anyways, so like everybody loved the airless basketball because kids could play with it. So at Lone Star, we have a whole bunch of stuff we're making. So we haven't really announced it, but there's going to be a special Plinko there for maker coins. Okay. So you get different prices and stuff. It's all going to be 3D printed. And then we're going to make a big tic-tac-toe, a big Jenga, a cornhole. And we're going to 3D print a whole bunch of games. There's actually a couple that are not going to be 3D printed. But just something fun, and they'll be kind of scattered. And then we have a 50-foot by 40-foot event area that Nate is running. So we'll do some different robots over there and different opportunities to do different games. But we want it so, if you have young kids, we'll have the second floor. We'll have a room set up just for toddlers. Okay. So they can do like arts and crafts. They can, play board games. And I put my mom in charge of that room. So, if you need 30 minutes of crazy time, you can just ditch them with my mom and it should be okay. Might need saying a waiver, but we'll try to do different things so that toddlers can have fun, kids can have fun, adults can have fun, everybody can kind of come and nerd out a little bit. But what we're really, really excited about, so a lot of you guys probably know that Lone Star moved back 1 week. So the city of Irving was doing a citywide event, and they really, really wanted that space. And I was like, I don't want to argue with you. So what they're actually going to do to help us, so they are going to send out 120,000 digital flyers for the event, and then they're going to post it in 80,000 physical flyers for us for free.
That's awesome.
So we're we're hoping we can get a lot of attendees through there. We're looking between 10 to 16,000 would probably be my scary limit. I mean, this is a
Scary limit.
huge facility, but trying to plan for security and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know, we're in a major area. We just want to make sure everybody has fun.
Yeah.
But our event, we just want it to be family friendly, but have fun for all ages. And I think that's going to be something unique.
No, I like that. I like that idea. I like that. Chris, you have anything to add to that?
There's some new details I didn't know about. So that's awesome, especially about the digital flyers and the physical flyers. That's awesome to hear. So
Yeah.
I'm
excited.
excited to be part of it. So
I'm trying to talk Nate into letting me do chicken races for adults. So we're gonna. If you
now
see
is that
my
adults
latest-
dressed like chicken? Is that adults dressed like chickens racing or?
No, so it's like there's this guy on printables who made these chickens that walk down this ramp. They're 3D printed chickens, and so I feel like if we can make big tracks and big chickens, it would be fun.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
So
I know somebody's got a Giga, so probably
Yeah.
put you a big chicken.
oh
Heck
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
We just made
Well,
this sign
I might
yesterday.
be
It's huge.
relying on that for the tracks. The tracks are going to be the trick. So that's awesome. That is awesome. That's let's see if we got any questions in here, guys. If you do have any questions about this, just get them in. We're going to move on to some other topics, but we can't answer more about Lone Star. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a great new event. Every festival, every 3D printing festival, every maker festival that we have right now has a distinct kind of idea of what it is, right? And so they're just kind of adding to the distinctness of everything that's going on. And I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be huge. And then we'll see what happens when Printopia moves to Philadelphia the next year. And so we're just growing and growing and growing. And we're really starting to see so much of 3D printing become mainstream, right? It's
Correct.
just kind of becoming the thing. So that is pretty cool. So first, most important question: how do you feel? This is a hot take, all right? This is a hot take, so you have to give a strong opinion on it. Chris, how do you feel about vanilla ice cream?
I'm for it. I think it's underrated. I think it can stand on its own. And I'm all about if you're just, especially if you're not feeling anything particular, but you want something sweet and cold,
Okay.
vanilla all day.
Okay. Dud, vanilla ice
I
cream.
love vanilla ice cream. I always eat the vanilla first because Owen likes that the best. And he doesn't eat my chocolate. So I eat his vanilla, then I always have chocolate left.
So are
It
you
works
saying
out perfect.
are you saying that Neapolitan is your standard ice cream?
No, I don't like strawberry.
Okay, you don't like strawberry.
But Kroger's has this really cool, it's chocolate and vanilla in one container, and I can eat all the vanilla in one serving, and then the chocolate's there the next day for me.
Okay.
It works out great.
Now, do you put sauce on any type of sauce on your vanilla?
Sometimes chocolate syrup, but otherwise it's just plain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris?
Yep.
Nope.
I'm
Okay.
I'm as white as they are, man. Just plain old vanilla.
Dud, favorite ice cream?
Chocolate.
Okay. Chris, favorite ice cream?
Oh man, I'm gonna go butter pecan.
Butter pecan. Wow. Going fancy. Going fancy. We had a butter. I think that's the first time we've had a butter pecan. That's
Hey.
cool.
I'm
have
in the
that in my
South.
freezer.
It's pecan, not pecan. So I'm putting that on the record.
True.
There's
No,
hot
I'm a
take. There's-
pecan guy. Do not say pecan in front of me. You,
Yeah,
you
there's
will
your
get
hot take.
ridiculed.
Yeah.
But we
Definitely.
do have vanilla and cookies and cream that come by the Walmart drone. Alex was talking about the drone.
Walmart drone.
I have it dropped off in my backyard. There's
Oh, you
no
people.
delivery fee, and it's $2.38, and it'll be here in 20 minutes. You can't go wrong.
Oh, you
Dude,
people.
You need a
that's
Dr.
crazy.
Pepper, you need an energy drink. There you go. It'll be here in a few minutes.
All right. So for some reason, my give me a second. My iPad is deciding that I don't get to use all my fancy stuff tonight. Here we go. So let's jump over real quick. I do want to talk. I gave y'all some stuff tonight. Why is it showing that? I gave y'all some topics, right, that we were going to discuss. That I want to hear hot takes on, things I think you guys might have some ideas for. So here's our first one. We're looking at the Kickstarter. I don't know if either of you looked at this Kickstarter, but I want to know what you think about it. Would you support it? Do you think it's something that other people should look at for something that they want to do. All right, so let's start with that. I'm going to kind of scroll down the page. Let's start. Dud has been doing a lot of research on extruders, like professional line extruders. So talk to me about your opinion here.
Okay, Chris, you go first.
Okay. I will, just because I won't have as much to say about this that Dud will, because he's got more experience in the industry with that.
Yep.
I think as a home solution to kind of, once you've already got the pellets, whether you shred it yourself or whatever you do, but to extrude your own filament, I think for somebody who has a print farm that goes through a lot of waste, I think this is where, and especially if it doesn't have to be a certain color, they can kind of mix it, know it's going to be painted or it's just going to be an unseen part. I think it's going to be great. I think it's a great idea. And for the price, was it like 1,500? I'm not sure what that converts to in U.S. because I think this is out of Spain.
Yeah, it's out of Spain.
We'll call it $1,700 maybe.
It's so the full extruder early bird pro was $1,843.
Okay, yeah, $1,800 to kind of get your foot in the door to extrude your own filament base out of waste.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be a great idea for somebody, especially for somebody who uses a like any kind of print farm. You know, especially because if they're doing a single color thing, then they can just take the waste and they don't have to worry about changing colors or anything. It may look different based on how it's heated up whenever they extrude it down the line and everything.
Right.
But it's still going to be black or red or whatever the color
I
is.
gotcha. Yeah.
I think for a print farm, people like that are going to get the most use. I think for like a hobbyist like me who just does dumb stuff on TikTok, I think it would be a little overboard. It would take a lot of waste to make up that $1,800. I don't know how much money I spent on filament, and I know it hasn't been $1,800 in the last year.
Okay.
So I think for a hobbyist like me, not worth it, unless you just like to tinker and you got the extra cash to do it. I got a wife and a kid and a mortgage. I can't get the wife to approve me spending $1,800 to make my own filament.
Yeah, I understand.
But I think for hobbyists it's a little overkill. Don't really need it unless you just want to tinker with it.
So how many printers do you have though? You've got a lot of poopy printers back there, I see.
Yeah, I've got 5 right now. So I've got the K2 Plus, 2 P1Ss, and 2 Centauri Carbons. And I actually think about selling my K2 Plus and trying to get an H2S, whatever. But yeah, so I do go through, I feel like a lot of my prints lately have just been single color, not really multicolor. I kind of use the AMS and CFS as storage, if nothing else.
Okay.
But yeah, so I do have some waste for sure. But again, to justify that kind of money, I just think I would rather donate that to somebody who has one of these. That way they can extrude their own.
Okay.
And in which case, this could be a cool thing for schools too, because I know a lot of STEM programs do a lot of 3D printing. I think something like this could be cool for a school too. They could probably get all kinds of donations from people like me who have all this waste. If they can get a way to grind it down, make their own pellets, and then extrude their own line, or if they just buy used pellets online, I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
And make their own. I think that'd be kind of a cool project for schools as well.
Okay. Well, Dad, what do you think? Talk to us.
So, I somewhat agree with Chris. So, unfortunately, the technology's not there yet. So, you're going to spend this money on a filament line, but it doesn't hold very much. So, it's going to be maybe if it holds, enough to hold 1 roll of filament. And it's not going to be very fast, so you can't use it commercially. If you have a print farm, your printers are going to use more filament than what you can physically make. So it's not going to be worth your time. And if you're going to shred it, like Chris is saying, the shredding machine is more expensive than the filament line. Most of those shredders all use 220 volts. And then you have to pay to install that in the United States because we don't run 220.
Right.
So as a hobbyist, you might be able to tinker with it, but you're going to be in $3,000 to make your own filament. It's a really cool concept, and I like it. I think it's well put together. I just don't think the market is mature enough to do that yet.
Okay. Now, do you think, what level of person do you think could use this machine? Because from my understanding, when it comes to creating recycled filament, you still need a good 30-40% new pellets to really make something good.
Correct. So I'll refer back to, so Erica Prince is here in Texas with me, and she does recycled filaments.
Yep.
She is, you know, her machines are 10 times faster than this one, and her machines only make, you know, a kilogram every hour and a half. So it's just not. It's going to be like a really cool, like Chris was saying, for like a high school or a middle school for like a STEM class, so you can learn how it works. I think that'd be really cool, so they can see it. It'd have to be virgin material. I don't think recycled would be the way to go with it.
Okay.
I know it says it can support it, but I really think like a school setting where they could learn it and they could tinker with it would be kind of cool.
Right.
Like maybe you could do something like that. Like if you take that setup and you could go to uh, like Printopia, and you could have it on your table and it making, you know, filament, and you can kind of explain how it works so people kind of understand how it works. That would be a good setting for it. I just don't think it would be good for a company or a print farm.
Okay. Okay. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your opinions on that. I do think it's really interesting. I think, you know, it's something I've always wanted to play with. I kind of, now, I would, for me, honestly, I mean, if I'm spending money on an X1 or an H2D or something like that, right? I'm not going to see a lot of issues spending that amount of money on something like this to make the material for that. But my hang up is on the grinder. The grinder and buying the original material was kind of my hang up as far as
Correct.
this goes. If you're going to buy that, you need a good grinder.
So, how many colors of filament do you use, Asylum?
I don't really do multicolor. I have one machine that does multicolor, and it's an A1, and it's my TikTok machine.
So, have you talked to almost anybody in here? You know, normally, if you ask Chris how many colors are behind him in that big filament stack that he has standing up or against the door over there, you know, he has like 100 different colors.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're gonna make your own color, you also have to have a master batch in every one of those colors too.
Right.
So
Right.
it's just so much. You know, yes, I think it'd be cool to make, but there's just so much. You have to have the material, then the color, then how you mix it, and how, you know, it's just so complicated. I
Yeah.
just, I just don't think the market is mature enough yet
Okay.
for it.
Okay. No, I'd make gray filament because I'd just put everything together. That would be fun. Okay, awesome, beautiful, beautiful. I like that. I like that. So let's look at the next one, guys. The next one is the infamous filament dryer. I love this topic. This is always a fun topic. We always have very, very opinionated people on this topic. I'm not even going to say too much about this dryer. I know you guys. Did you guys look at it? Did y'all like take a serious look at the filament dryer?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to Dud first. Talk to me about this filament dryer and what you think about it.
So I'll get on a minor rant about filament dryers first. I have shipped literally at least 80 to 100 rolls of filament back out to people because they've over dried filament. You can over dry any type of filament. You can over dry PETG. You can over dry PLA. You can definitely over dry the PLA's B, the splat, or the TPU. You only want to dry a filament for 4 to 6 hours at 65 degrees Celsius. Please do not leave it in there on all the time. It will get soft, or it will get really hard and brittle and break in the machine, and then you're going to complain about it.
Well,
Sorry.
and that's the anneal process, right? That's when you hear
Yes.
people talking about the annealing process. Explain
Correct.
that a little bit more.
So how filament is made is it starts from plastic and then it goes through a water bath. So it is designed to have moisture in it. So the optimum moisture, depends where you live, is between 15 to 20% moisture content. You know, it depends on what material you want. So it's good to get it down to about 10%. Anything over it can probably be dried. But if you go below that, that's where it starts to destroy the chemical bond, and it will start to break apart and get really brittle. So as the film is going through the Bowden tube, it will start to crack and it'll fall apart.
But if I leave my PLA filament out too long, it gets brittle too. Why is that?
So it's probably over drying. Is it really dry where you live?
Oh, I'm just playing dumb
Oh.
and talking and asking questions. No,
So
I'm
I
just
would
saying.
tell you
So
that.
some people say that if I leave my filament out, if I leave my PLA out, or even my PET G, and I leave it
Yeah.
out, sometimes it just gets brittle and it breaks. I've heard some people say that they'll just unwind an amount until it gets where it's not brittle, and then they'll print with that rather than dry
Yeah.
with it. Why does it get
So
brittle like that?
it's because it's a consumable. So it's just like your groceries. You can get a dozen eggs that it can sit in the fridge and it has an expiration date, and you can normally use them few weeks by that, but eventually you really want to get rid of those eggs, even though they look like they're an egg, but they do expire, because it messes with the moisture content. So it every state is different because it depends where you live. So if you're 3D everything, you live on the coast and it's 100% humidity, you're gonna have a lot more problems with filament. If you're here in Texas, I have had filament out for years since we first started, and you put it on the printer and you won't have any problems. But it also depends on the filament type. So PETG normally will last a little bit longer. Is it doesn't absorb the moisture as much. TPU, you might as well forget it. You open it and you need to use it or you need to seal it. It will absorb that moisture like crazy.
Okay.
Um, that's kind of my thoughts on filament.
Well, talk to me about this filament dryer in particular. I mean, so you say you understand the need for a filament dryer, right?
Yep.
And so,
So
looking at this filament dryer, what would your thoughts be on it?
So my thoughts is everything, every roll filament you get should be pre-dried by the manufacturer. So if you're going to open a roll and use it right then, it should be good to go. Now, there is cases where they pulled it out too soon, or the bag had a leak or something, or it fell in the water on the way to you, whatever happened. Um, but after a filament sits out for a couple weeks, it is best if you go through and dry it if you live in a high humidity area. And the really cool thing about this one is you can dry 3 rolls of film at a time. So if you do multicolors, like a lot of people do, look at all those AMSs that Chris has over there.
Yeah,
You can dry quite a few at a time.
yeah.
We, it's kind of weird. So 90% of our prints that we do are solid colors, and I'm kind of a stickler. I will open a roll of filament and I'll use it until it's gone. I don't. I mean, I do have some rolls I've had open for a long time, but 99% of them I just open and use, open and use, open and use, because I just don't like all the clutter.
Right. I gotcha. Now, so the three of them together is the problem I had. My problem, but I'm gonna let Chris talk before I go. He might want to speak to that. But Chris, what is your opinion on that particular dryer?
I don't see the value in it
Okay.
personally. I mean, yeah, it's $24 to get just a file to download it and a video on how to install it.
Right.
But then you still have to buy, yeah, I think it said either 10 to 20 or 20 to $40 worth of extra materials to actually assemble all the screws, the hardware, and stuff like that. You can go on Amazon and get you a filament jar for $30. Now, granted, it's only a single roll, um, but for the basic stuff, like people like me who just mainly print in PLA and PETG, I hardly ever dry my stuff. I've
Right.
got a roll of ASA I haven't used yet, but I've got it in the dryer just because I've heard ASA is a lot trickier. I never printed with it, but I've heard it's a lot trickier, so I've got it sitting in a dryer. Um, I don't know. I just don't see the value in $24 for a file for you to print yourself, than to go buy more hardware to have to put it together. Which, I mean, that's part of the fun. There's people who make speakers and headphones out there, like components that you buy, and you can print your own stuff, whatever. Um,
Right.
but for that's something kind of niche. That's a headphones, speakers, whatever. This is a filament dryer. Um, I just don't see. I see the value in drying your filament when needed, but for the basic $24 plus another 10 to 20 or $30 in hardware, I just don't see the value in it
Okay,
for what it
so I
is.
have a question for you, Chris. Do you have a poop chute on the back of yours, like a poop tray or anything that you've 3D printed?
Hmm. Well, actually, on this P1S that you can't see over here, I've just got a cardboard box with a hole cut in it to catch all the stuff. But yeah,
But have you 3D printed anything for them? wait, so many people. So like Tulin Lee is amazing. He designs tons of stuff, and he's so fun to talk to. He lives down the road from me. He's
Yeah.
like 40 minutes away. But anyway, so he 3D printed this drawer that actually pops out and it holds all the poop and stuff in it.
Mhm.
It, you're going to spend $20 on filament to make it, but it's so much cheaper to go to the dollar store and get a little tote just to put behind the printer and catch all the poop and dump it. Something that's different about 3D printing, especially the community, they want to feel accomplished. They want to feel like, hey, I'm going to buy this STL, I'm going to get the screws, and I'm going to build it. I'm going to make it have hinges. I'm going to make it have this. They kind of feel more accomplished. I think that's kind of what they're going for.
I think so. I would agree with that. I think part of my issue with 3D printed dryers is you've got to print it in a filament that's one step higher than what you're going to dry.
Correct.
Right. And so if PLA and ASA or PLA and PETG is what you're going to dry, you want to print it in ABS or ASA, right? But if you're going to dry, and TPU can handle that too. But if you're talking, and they're talking about drying ASA and ABS, and I feel like they almost just wanted to throw out a filament dryer and don't necessarily know what filaments should on a standard basis be dried, right?
I agree.
PLA, generally you're not going to dry it unless you have issues that you're not fixing with your printer settings, right? Like you check retraction, you make sure you got the right temperature, you do all those things first, and then you might think about drying it. I don't dry it unless I try to fix all those things and I hear popping from my PLA, which is rare. Right. PETG I get popping from all the time because I'm in Virginia and we have, big humidity and stuff. But I find that most of the time I can fix things with adjusting temperature of something or retraction of something. Right. And then they're throwing 3 rolls in at the exact same time. Could be potentially different rolls. Could have been opened at different times. Not as the same exposure. You're putting them under the same timer, so you have 3 rolls being dried the exact same way, and there might be huge differences in the amount of humidity that they have. That was my biggest issue with it.
No, I agree. And people, not everybody does this, but it's very common. Like, oh, I had a problem with my filament, so I dried it.
Right.
And then I dried it again, and I dried it again. And that's where people have to realize that, hey, it went through water being made. It's designed to have moisture in it. So, yes, I agree that, hey, Chris has this filament that he just opened a week ago, and he's going to put in a dryer with 2 more rolls that he's had on the shelf for 6 months. It's going to be like, hey, it's 30% humidity in it, so he's going to keep drying them and drying them and drying them. And that one roll that he put in at the beginning, he's going to over dry, and it's going to become really, really brittle.
Right. Chris, anything else to add?
No, and I do agree with the whole, being part of the thing that you make, assembling and all that stuff. I get the fun in that too, but, yeah, I mean, I get it. I see it from both sides. That is fun, but for me, if I'm going to get a filament dryer, for something basic like that, I'm just gonna go buy one, But I think for something like a figure or a specialty part or headphones, stuff like that, I think for that, I see the value in that, and like modifying your printer too, like it's the poop chute and all that stuff. That's fun, like risers and stuff like that. But for a functional piece that you need to work every single time, I don't trust myself to put something together like that. I would rather, I'd rather buy one that has a warranty. So
all right, I get that.
Before your next topic, I'll tell you a secret. No, I don't think anybody knows this except maybe 3D everything. So we almost made our own filament dryer that held 4 rolls, but I had to buy 4,000. But it was custom designed. Like we helped spec it all out and everything. We just couldn't. We couldn't do the follow up. It was so much money. But it was really cool. Like it came out 2 years ago.
Okay.
So.
There's a company called IBOS. I think it's how you pronounce it.
That's the one I have. IBOS is who I have.
Yeah, and that's got it's got separated so you can dry them at different temperatures. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they have good air circulation. That's probably my big arguments with a lot of filament dryers, is there's not, like, you're not exchanging air with the outside.
Yeah.
You're not doing things to get rid of the humidity that you're heating out of the filament. And then most of the time, if you just raise your temperature a degree or two on your printer, you've solved your problem. Whereas if you put it into your dryer, you've annealed it, which you've essentially raised the temperature that it needs to print at, right? And so
Yeah.
you're kind of, a lot of that. That's kind of me. 2 AMS Pros. Yep, that's 3D everything. AMS Pros. Guys, if y'all have any hot takes, any questions you have for them, get them in the room. Just put them in the peanut gallery. Let us know what questions you have. We are going to move on to some other topics. I do want to do one thing real quick, guys. So I'm going to talk about some credits, and then I'm going to bring y'all back in. And I'll mute y'all so y'all can talk. Well, let me find you so I can mute you, and then y'all can talk while things are going on. All right, guys. So I do want to just offer credits for today. I always want to acknowledge the people who are part of what's going on, and so one of the things I like to do every show is just to kind of name the people who are supporting us. So this list that you're seeing right here, these are the people in the last 7 days who've watched my shows the most. So these are, I go through and I look at all the stats and everything and look to see. So here's Try Not to Break Anything, Mr. Cartoon, Waffle Bar Prince, Carrie Beep Beep, Blazing Prince, Ryan, Martin's 3D Designs, The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, Mike Wood, and Granny Susie. Then we have the gifters, the people who gave gifts and different things across all the platforms. And these are our top 10 in the last 7 days. Dragon Girl Design, Mr. Cartoon, Blazing Prince, Clove 3D Prints, Martin's 3D Designs, The 3D Classroom with Mr. Shaw, Tooling Lee, Carrie Beep Beep, New Makers, and Frostbit Forge. And then our sustaining donators. These are the people who donate on a monthly basis to what's happening here in the Asylum Life community, and we really appreciate these people. And there's always opportunities if you're looking for ways to help support the community and you're looking for something off platform or whatever, reach out to me. There are lots of different ways to support the community and help us get these shows rolling. We do so much behind the scenes. We're trying to build our community, and we have so many volunteers that I really wish I could help them or could throw some things their way. And these types of things, these sustaining donations, really help a lot. So they help with giveaways, they help with a lot of different things, they help with the streaming. And so as far as sustaining donations, we have Killer Bite Workshop, Designing Life, Dragon Girl Designs, Blazing Prince, and 3D Print Like Me. So guys, thank y'all so much for doing that. I really appreciate it. Every little bit helps. I always talk about value for value, and value for value is important for us around here. And things are freaking out on my computers. Value for value is this. Come on. It'll change in a minute. Value for value is this. Time, talent, and treasure. If you want to be a part of the Asylum Life community, there are 3 ways to be a part. Time. That's watching the shows. That's coming into the Discord. That's being a part of things that are going on and just engaging with the community. That's really important. Talent. Maybe you have some talents. Maybe you want to leave. We just have some 3D Everything just picked up movie nights. He's going to be doing movie nights once a month. We've got the Potato Lord, who's setting up some gaming servers for our Discord. We have a lot of different people. We have Chris and Jonathan. They're going to be setting up game nights where we get together and we play games as a community, just to come together and get to know each other. And so that could be a talent. Maybe there's class that you want to teach, things that you're interested in being a part of. That's that talent. So time, talent, and then treasure. I don't talk about that a lot, but we all know treasure is important, right? And I appreciate all the people who give any type of treasure to what we're doing here. And we're going to keep building this community. We're going to make this something just really amazing, where people come in and create projects together. We've got the Meshtastic project we're working on right now. We're rebuilding some printers, trying to do some interesting things with old Cobra Max printers. So jump into the Discord community, be a part, and we're slowly starting to see people come in from other places. Just excited to see this community growing. So I'm gonna pull these guys back in. I don't know why everything's going so slow right now, but it is. All right. So one of the things that I'm interested in is ecosystems. And when people talk about ecosystems, You always hear the Apple ecosystem and the Android ecosystem, right? That's kind of the two primaries that kind of work in everybody's lives, or the Microsoft ecosystem and the Apple right? Yeah, exactly. And so that I feel like that is starting to happen within the 3D printing world. Probably in so many other places within the makerspace. I know there's things happening in laser engraving that feel the same way. I know there's some things happening in CNC that feel the same way. But there's a dog walking in the back room, opening the door back there. I thought that was really cute.
There we go.
That was pretty awesome. It just caught my eye as I was going. So right now we have some ecosystems to me that seem to really develop. The first one we know is Prusa, right? Prusa has kind of started closing things off a little bit, really trying to kind of streamline their processes for good or bad, however you feel about it. You go to Maker World, you find a print, you click on it, and it sends it to the printer, right? So we have Maker World. Then we have Printables. Printables is basically doing kind of the same thing. You can go there and you can print on a Prusa printer that's attached to the cloud. This week they announced that you can add almost any printer now, and so there's people experimenting. We've had Centauri Carbons on the Prusa cloud. We've had some Neptunes on Centauri cloud. We have different things happening. Everything, it can pretty much slice for just about any printer, but it's getting to where it can send to every printer. So you go to Printables, you hit a button, it sends it to the printer you want it to, right? And then we have Thangs doing their own thing, and we even have Elegoo has come in with that. How are you guys feeling about the ecosystems? Am I wrong in what I'm seeing? How do what are y'all seeing?
I think these Fig Newtons are amazing, by the way. I don't know. I've been eating for the last hour.
Link in bio.
Stuck in my
Link in
teeth
bio.
now.
No.
Yes. I really feel like it started with Prusa, with printables a long time ago. They always really were pushing their own printers, which totally makes sense. And I think then Thingiverse got really big, and then it went to Things, and Bamboo has started, their Maker World a while ago, and it did so well. I really feel like all these other companies are starting to pivot towards that. That's why you're getting Prusa to do it and stuff like that. I'm not against it, but like we were talking about before the show started, the 3D printing community is getting way better as far as like maturity wise. The printers, you can just pull them out of the box and they're good to go. There's so much. I mean, you get your H2D, you take it, and you have to take out 2 or 3 screws and call it good, and then it's good to go. I mean, it auto calibrates, it does everything. So they're simplifying it so it could be for almost any user. I mean, all these printers are getting so smart. Except my Giga. It started a file that was sliced for the Neptune 4. I don't have a Neptune 4. But Amanda's like, this Giga's really weird. It's printing all funky. And it sliced it for the wrong file. But anyways, the printers have matured so much and the community has grown so fast. I think it's really good because it's easy. Chris over here has an iPhone. I don't have an iPhone. But everything on his phone is easy, if he wants to use iTunes, iPods, all these accessories are just plug and play, ready to go. And it's helped the cell phones grow dramatically so fast. But at the end of the day, a lot of people still like Androids because it's open source. I can do a lot more stuff. I can root my phone a lot easier than he can. I know there's backdoors to it, but so there's gonna be pros and cons because we as people that first started off 3D printing, I started off years ago, and there's people that have been 3D printing way before me, but they, building Vorons, buildings from start to finish, like the filament dryer you were talking about, where you have to print it and you have to build it yourself. There's a portion of the 3D printing community, I feel like it's the older part of the community, is all hands-on, teach, train, do everything yourself. The newer growth for 3D printing is just plug and play. You grab a printer, plug it in, load the filament, you pull out your phone, and you print it right from your phone. So I think they're just going towards a new audience that 3D printing is going to.
Okay. All right. Chris?
Yeah, I'll speak on it real quick, and I'll probably have to hop off after this topic.
Oh, okay.
But this is a topic, so I want to talk about. I agree that like it's weird like how like I've only been doing this for like I said just a touch over a year. So I think July of 2024 is when I started, and I just only use MakerWorld to start with because my first printer was a Bamboo A1. And even since then, I feel like I didn't know what all was out there. And so, because I'm new to the game, so it's good that we got you guys on here who've been doing 3D printing a lot longer than I have. So you've kind of seen how it's transitioned over time. But even since then, like I think I saw somebody in the chat talking about don't forget about
Right.
Crowdy Print, like Crowdy Cloud or whatever it is.
Cloud.
So yeah, Crowdy Cloud has their own. Elegoo just came out with their own next print. I think next print. I think it is.
Yeah.
Then you got Bamboo Maker World, which I primarily just live in Maker World because I feel like I almost feel like printables is more, even though it's not. I feel like printables is more of a functional 3D library versus Maker World's much more, tchotchke things or designer based things. But for me, because you could just download the 3MFs or the STL straight from MakerWorld, I feel like because Bamboo is such a popular platform now, because it's so easily accessible and so easy to use, like an iPhone. I think whenever I talk to people about 3D printing, want to get into it, I'm like, if you have an iPhone, to me, get a Bamboo because it's the Apple of 3D printers. That the majority of the files that are being uploaded, the free ones anyway, are going to MakerWorld. So even if you don't have a Bamboo printer, you can still get a MakerWorld, download the STL, and then print it on whatever printer you have.
Right.
But there is something to be said about the ecosystem as a whole, because that's one of the reasons I'm thinking about getting rid of my K2 Plus is because I could use Orca for everything, but I've seen people have issues with Orca on recently, especially the Elegoo Centauri Carbons. I've seen a lot of people have issues with it not slicing properly for that printer. And even with some Creality printers, it just won't slice right until you use the built-in slicer for that printer. Right. And I'm a big proponent of using whatever slicer is meant for that brand. And bouncing between three slicers can be annoying, especially whenever Windows wants to designate all 3MFs and STLs to one slicer.
Right.
So I'm trying to keep everything. I want to try to keep everything in the same ecosystem. That way, it's just one slicer as much as I can because I'm not getting rid of my Centauris. I love those too much.
Yeah.
But not having to use 3 or 4 or 5 different slicers to make sure you get the right print. I would rather just use one to guarantee it's going to work every single time. So for me, that's what the ecosystem means to me. It's not necessarily the repository of files or wherever you're going to download everything from. For me, it's the ease of use. You got the file, you know what you want. All right, now let's open it, whatever slicer you're going to use based on whatever printer or printers you have. And I think it's, to me, easier just to use the same, as much as you can, slicer across the board. So
right, and I'm with you on that. I wish 3D companies would stop making filament slicers. I don't put it in Orca, put it in Prusa, put it in one of the existing ones that are working already. All you're doing is forking off of one of them anyway to make your slicers. So
right.
why?
Which is wild that people are having issues with Orca-based slicers for different printers. Like if they're using Orca for Elegoo, then something does not slice them properly. Geek Girl Katie had that problem recently, but then when she switched to Elegoo slicer, which is based off of Orca,
right,
it works just fine. So I don't understand.
Well,
if you're gonna
part of that is because of profiles. So
true, yeah.
Elegoo is making the profile for their printer in it, right? And then for Orca, somebody else, not Elegoo, is making the profile for that, and so it's not going to quite be the same. And that's going to be. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep going on.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Yeah, same thing. Pretty much like if it's based on the same backbone, why can't it be just universally across the board like work? But.
And so, but here's what I. Go ahead, Dud. Cannot hear you, Dud.
I think you muted, bud.
Sorry.
There you go.
Freaking Dud sat on my headset. But anyways, so think of it. So we're kind of in the, I refer back to it because it was the biggest push for me. You're going from VHS to DVD, and now we're at the HD DVD versus Blu-ray. What's the better choice? Everybody's going to have different opinions of it, but I really think everybody wants to stay within their own ecosystem to boost add-ons. I think that's what it's all about. So yes, there's margin in printers, but you're going to have more margin if you retain that customer. How much are you going to spend to get that customer, and how much can you retain it? So Chris has his iPhone. How many Apple accessories does he have?
You don't want to know, buddy.
But you see, that's what. So if Elgato is going to make their own slicer, Elgato is going to make their own filament. Elgato is going to make their own accessories. Elgato is going to make their own Maker World, basically, and they can lock them in that ecosystem. You never have to go to another site. Everything's right there. I would not be surprised if some of these, as they get bigger, you can be like, oh, here, just order a new filament right here. Just add to cart, and go. It's their own closed ecosystem. I think that's what they're going to get to.
And Creality has something similar. Like, you can get points in crealitycloud.com. You can log in, get points for the thing, and you can redeem those. You can do that in the same Bamboo. You can redeem for gift cards and stuff like that. Bamboo, you can redeem directly for printers, filament dryers, filament itself, and stuff like that. So that's a good point to that too.
So here's my two issues, and this will be the last thing. We'll close out after we kind of go through this topic. I usually try to keep to an hour. But here's where I'm starting to see what might be happening next and where the issues to me fall. As you lock people into an ecosystem, and let's jump over to Bamboo. Let's jump over to Bamboo right now. We're watching them. Do they have open source software that you can install on their machines? Yes, 100%. But they seem to be slowly locking it down. They started with the RFIDs for their spools, and they're not letting anybody into that system. And they're slowly starting to latch down what you can do to your printer, or they're moving things to the cloud and trying to get you to slice stuff in the cloud. And you're starting to see, at least what I think could happen to every ecosystem, a place where we don't actually get a file, we hit a button, and that button sends it to the printer, it prints, and it's gone. We don't have that anymore, right? And then you have a company on top of that, say, Ford comes out with a brand new car, and they put out, which they've done before, they put out files to 3D print accessories for their cars, right? But they only put it on Bamboo, and I can only hit a button, and I can only send it to my printer, and it prints, and it's gone. And you have to have a Bamboo to do that. That's what I feel is coming. What do you think on that?
No, I agree, and they're locking down more and more accessories. So you're talking about RFID. If you don't override the system, you can't use our build plates because they don't have that same QR code. It goes and scans a lot of stuff. I totally agree with that. Is it better for the customer? Maybe, but it does make it harder for the people that like to tinker and the people that like to have more options.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, especially because you got companies like Big Tree Tech. You can get the Panda Touch that used to work on the P1Ss, but if you upgrade the firmware, if you've got an older P1S and have it upgraded, you can still use the Panda Touch like I do on one of my P1Ss. But the second one came with the newest version of Bamboo's firmware, and I can't use it with it. It can see it, it can detect it, but I can't control it or do anything with it. Customization or anything that you want, even if it's just hardware based, because if you get a P1S, what's the biggest flaw about the P1S is you get that tiny little no touch screen, stereo from your car from 1997 looking thing on there.
Yeah.
So having that Panda Touch has been awesome. Be able to if not, that's just set what filament and what filament color you got. That's the only thing I really use it for. But having to do that either in the slicer, or the only way we can do it is in the slicer. Having to do that there is just cumbersome. But when they block stuff out like that, it makes it hard to want to do more stuff with it, because you're like, well, why would I want to buy your stuff if I can't do anything to it, because you're gonna block it anyway.
Yeah. Now the Panda's a little bit different issue.
But on the same token,
I want to make sure, because people in the room are going to say something. The Panda's a little bit different because the Panda was something that was a security issue with the Bamboo that Panda has not updated yet. That's the issue there. Just so, anyway, that's a little different than closing an ecosystem, but I understand what you're saying. wholly,
Oh, yeah.
100%. Go ahead, Dud.
So here, refer back to your Ford car or Ford vehicle that you
Hmm.
have. It's so if you look at the cars in the last 10, 15 years, you can't modify anything. You can't change this.
Yep.
You can't change the stereo out. You can't do anything. You're locked into their system. You're locked into their, Android Auto or whatever's installed. You're stuck in their navigation. You're stuck in everything.
And you have to
And I,
subscribe
I
to
think
your
it's
heated
they're doing the same
seats.
exact thing. Correct.
You have to subscribe to everything in
Yep.
the car.
So, correct. And I mean, they're not the only car company that does it
Yeah.
too. I mean, Tesla does it too. So, but it's just I feel like it's almost the way the economy is going is everything's going to be like microtransactions. We're going to lock you in, and then we're going to nickel you for this, and nickel you for this, and nickel you for this. I just feel like that is the way that everything's going because
Yeah.
people don't see that all up front, but they see that, hey, I need a roll film. Oh, my printer's low on filament. Here, let me add to cart. Oh, that's only $25 here. Oh, that's only $25 here, instead of ordering $500 at once. I just kind of feel like that's going to be the future.
Right. I get that.
Right,
I
Debbie.
get that. And understand,
You
guys,
can't
I
have
own
my
an
fake
iPhone.
nuance.
I
No.
can't get any apps that aren't in the App Store for the iPhone. I understand. I get it. Right. We all decide to live in ecosystems. It's just an interesting conversation. I think now is a good time to have it. So, Chris, do you have any last thing to add? Last words you want to say?
No, I really appreciate the time. I really appreciate the platform, and I pretty much feel like I'm a nobody. So being able to hop on your platforms feels pretty awesome.
No, I'm
Uh,
glad. Tell everybody where to
I
find you.
want everybody to TikTok, Instagram are my main two platforms. I'm either just at Prince with Chris or at Prince.with Chris. I think Prince.with.Chris here on TikTok, and just at Prince with Chris everywhere else. I usually upload 1 to 3 videos a week. They're usually pretty dumb. It's just me being stupid. Or I'm showing off cool filaments from other companies, especially Dudv2 if they send me stuff. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, I really appreciate your time and the audience.
Thank you. Dad, any last words?
I appreciate you coming.
Of course.
So, Prince with Chris, I appreciate you a lot. You're going to help us dramatically with Lone Star. I'm super, super excited about that. I'm also, if you guys haven't seen his videos, they're very professional. I was shocked when I was watching his videos because I inspired to make professional videos, and then I'm lucky if I can put nail polish on and just video something spinning. I'm just over it at that point. I want to do it. I just don't. It's not in my brain doesn't compute it. I like, oh yeah, I want to do this, and I would never do that. So thank you so much for coming, but thank you so much for having such great content too. I really do appreciate it.
Awesome.
No, I
And
appreciate
and the
it.
boys are here now. They're gonna bark.
I appreciate the comments. I try to keep it family friendly. If anybody is watching that doesn't watch my stuff, I don't swear. I don't, promote anything, any kind of violence or any kind of, alcohol, drugs, anything like that. I keep it pretty family friendly just because there's kids who get their first 3D printers or looking online for content, and I don't want some 11, 12, 13-year-old seeing some grumpy 40-year-old swearing up and down because something's not working. So I try to
I
keep
was,
things as PG as I can.
I thought it was closer to 50, but I guess we'll go 40.
Well, you can't see all the gray hairs coming
I don't think he's in my territory.
in.
All right, Dud.
No,
Anything else? Where
we're
can we
not in the
find you,
70s.
Dud? Where can we find you?
So anybody interested in filament or accessories is dudv2.com, but we are on TikTok and Instagram and Bookface, right? I think yes.
Yeah.
I'm being told Bookface.
Bookface. Okay.
But before I go, thank you so much, Asylum, for having me. I do appreciate everything you do for the community. It's amazing what you do, so I do appreciate it.
Enjoy it. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna drop y'all out and close it out. So, hey guys, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate everybody coming in and being a part of this and jumping into the arguments and just kind of giving us your 2 cents. And that's where, as us as a community, that we want to learn. So we always talk about our 3 things, right? We want to, and that's so that tonight's a grow night. We want to look at new things. We want to learn how to look at it in different ways and just kind of grow in the what we think about and how we think about things. So first, we want to live life to the fullest, right? Always do that. Always help each other. Come into the community and be a part of it. We are a lifestyle community. We want people to come in and we want to come together and we want to do life together. So live life to the fullest, grow in wisdom, and show what you've learned generously, guys. Y'all have a good night. See y'all later.